He's worthy of more than what he's given. Hallelujah. He's worthy of more than what he's given. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He's worthy.
Giving them food, so amen. We thank God, amen, for that. Bishop John, he's a churchman. That's all he knows. Churchman. And I used to live right behind the church.
Yeah.
So I could hear the saints praising God. I even knew when they was out. Because I hear the cars cranking up. I said, well, they must be out. But I thank God for that experience. I thank God for that experience. We were members of another church across the bridge. And whenever our car was out, my dad's car was broke down, guess where we went to church? DRT. DRT. Every time we was between, automobiles, DRT. So I go way back to DRT. I remember, and we're going to go on that, one particular Sunday I came to DRT and I seen, I think it was my first few times I seen First Lady Bernice Jones, one of the beautiful women I ever laid my eyes on. There was a glow on her. Amen. I never witnessed that before. There was a halo light over her. And all I could see was Jesus all over her. And that was very impressive to me at the time. Amen. And Bishop Milton John, he was a people person. He was a people person. One thing he installed in the saints. Reputation when I was here.
That's right.
I have learned a few things. I'm good in 20 minutes, 15-minute messages. By the time you get ready to catch up with me, I'm done. Praise God. Amen. In the word of the Lord on this afternoon, St. Matthew chapter 13. St. Matthew chapter 13. I picked up on some on Friday night. I really enjoyed the banquet on Friday night. Such a beautiful experience. But I picked up on something, and I wanted to kind of deal on that when I heard, amen, concerning the old and the new. Amen? Concerning the old and the new. Let me give you a verse, St. Matthew chapter 13, and look at verse 51. If you would, let's see, if you would just stand. Amen. Verse 51, 52, Jesus said unto them, have ye understood all of these things?
Witness to Bernice Jones. Sister Kill. I just wanted to mention her name again because so many times people honor, so many times people want to be the one that's being honored. We want to be the ones with the title. We want to be the ones who are called to do the preaching. But little did she know what she did when she witnessed to Grandmama, who later witnessed to Granddaddy. And now we're all sitting here because of the work she did. So I just want to encourage us all that you don't have to be the one in the limelight. You don't have to be the one preaching. But if you just be the one being the kingdom work. So there was an old joke, and I'm not going to say it because it's got a lot of profanity in it. But it's a joke that said that, I'm not going to say it. But it's a joke about somebody being the piccolo player, and Paul, you probably know what I'm talking about. And the joke said, I'm not the piccolo player, Mr. Preacher. I'm not even the man sitting next to the man. I'm not even the man sitting next to the man sitting next to the man. Everybody wants to be the piccolo player, but nobody wants to be the man sitting next to the man sitting next to the man. Everybody wants to be the preacher, but nobody wants to be the one who's witnessing out there in the world. That's calling, that's bringing along the people who will later on have the spotlight. So let's be encouraged to just be out there, and you don't know what your witness is going to lead to. She didn't know at all that her witnessing to that to Grandma was going to lead to this right here. But and she wasn't doing it to get the accolades. But she did it because she was just skipping down the street.
United family, and I
told Mom I'm just overwhelmed and just filled with joy. I was going to make every service. I said, they have something later in the year, I'm going to make that too. Because it's just a milestone. It's just wonderful being here.
Amen.
Moving on to Bishop, First Lady, my First Lady.
Amen.
Amen. It's a blessing for 60 years of no accident. It's ordained by God.
Yes.
And I thank God. I remember, amen, for what He has done, and I thank God for the years that I've been in this church. I learned to be a servant unto the Lord. I learned to obey, even though I don't understand it not. That's why I need to pray to God to help me to understand. And I thank God for what He has done in my life. Thank God for my father, Apostle Morris Raw. I thank God for DRT that was with me when he had gone to the Lord. And it gives me strength every time I come in the house of God that I can do the same thing like Elder Jones did. Take up the bloodstained banner. And I thank God for what he said, no scandals. No scandals. See, when you live for the Lord, there's no room for scandals. And I thank God I made up my mind, I don't want no room for scandals. Preaching the gospel will make it in for you.
That's it.
And my goal is to preach the gospel and die by the gospel.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Giving unto God, it's my Savior, who I seek to please every day, every second, every minute.
Yes.
Giving honor to my wife, my beautiful wife, and my bishop, my main, and Pastor Sharp and all these wonderful pastors, my auntie. I'm just excited to be a branch from DRT. Learned a lot under Bishop and Lady Jones, and I'm telling you, we're back in the day when I used to sit on that pew and listen to him preach all the time. Now I get up there, I find myself saying the same stuff over and over again. I'm like, man, like deja vu. But I really appreciate you preaching and teaching and not giving up on me and my family. And I honor you guys on today, and I honor Granddaddy too. I didn't get a chance to meet Grandma, but Granddaddy, I met him. And Williams Chicken and all that stuff. But just a branch off the main tree.
Praise the
Amen.
Lord.
I just thank God for being here. Amen. I can back Joe. Everything I've learned and everything I am is because of my father.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Every time I preach, I'm using something that my father taught me. Because he taught me a lot. And I'm going to share this. Last night I was sleeping and it was raining, Joe. And I thought about the church God blessed us with. And I said, uh-oh. Because when we bought the church, I saw all the tape that they had bedded up because of the leaks. And so I woke up at 5 this morning and I said, let me get the church. I said, because Joe told me we probably have to cancel church because of the leaks. But I said, if they can do it in John. I stopped by the store, I said, well, let me just get some trash cans. Because if it leaks, it's going to leak in the trash can. But we going to praise God. And I thought about it. And I said, talk to me, Daddy. That's what I had to say this morning. Talk to me, Daddy. How did you do it? I said, what did the people say? And I could just hear him say, it doesn't matter. You praise God. Learned a lot while I was here.
Here, all the pastors and their wives, and to my bishop and first lady, amen. I'm just so thankful to be have been a part of DRT. I just get almost teary-eyed and I'm joyful at the same time. I'm so glad I got this teaching. I'm so glad to even talk about my foundation of where I come from.
Yes.
And I even remember I started in Joppa as well, and as a little girl, of course. And, my mom, Sister Floria, I know her as Andrews or Anderson.
Amen.
Amen. And, but I remember, like it was yesterday, the day that I was sitting on the bench as a little girl, and I went to get up and I couldn't walk. And I don't know who was around, who remembers that, but I remember the old saints, they would got around me, and I felt like my legs were not there. And I just couldn't walk, and I would just go limp, and they began to pray. And they just began to travail and pray. Before we left that church, I was walking slowly, but it's like I had started over having to practice to walk all over again. But God did a healing in my body as a little girl in Joppa. And I'm just so thankful also of the teaching that Sister Jones gave me as becoming a woman.
Yes.
Besides my own mother, but at the church, not just her, but a lot of the mothers, they would, in Sunday school, you know, sometimes we didn't want to hear, it was like, what the hell am I, and all this, but they did not care. I just thank God how even Sister Jones, she would pull me to the side, and how it almost like she knew that I was going to be her daughter-in-law. I mean, she just knew. Before she transitioned to heaven, she began to tell me even tidbits about Eric, and I wasn't even married to him yet. And I was like, Lord, but everything she said to me, and I haven't really shared that. Do you know that came to fruition?
Wow. See there? Yes.
And she prepared me how to iron for him, how to do this, and he liked that. And I say, I'm just dating. What is it? And she knew. And I just said, Lord, I looked back, and even when he tried to step out, we was, oh Lord, she said, you just keep praying. He gonna be all right. You just stay put. And she began to say, we've taught y'all something. I know you are a beautiful woman of God. So I could go on and on. I thank God for the prayer and the fasting and all that. And I'm just glad to be a part. So, amen.
Amen. First Lady Nikki. Amen. She shook her head. Amen. She's tired from directing.
To my pastor that couldn't be here today, he's out of town. I'm sorry about that. But to my bishop, my church ladies here, they are family, y'all. Anybody here that does not know it, they are family. Amen. And I thank God for them. And I'm not going to be long, but I just want to say I am so happy. Yes. So happy to be here today. Yes. Just so happy to see all of the faces, because I'm going to say it. I'm old DRT. I'm one of those that I don't mind telling you how old I am. I'm 1 year away from being 70 years old. And I thank God for it. You can say what you like. Look at Dana laughing. That's my daughter. My son-in-law and my grandbaby laughing at me. But I am. I'm 1 year away from being 70. But I thank God for it. I thank God today, and just want to say I love you all. I'm so glad to be here. And Eunice, when you were talking, I thought about it. I tell my ladies all the time, I love my Sunday school ladies. And I know where that came from, because all of us had to go through Sunday school at Sister Jones. So I praise God for it, and I'm just happy to be here.
I wanted to do like that and just pass it on, but I didn't want to get emotional. Because 60 years, I am 63, 63, too. I'm I'm 63. But anyway, I just thank the Lord for being here. I know protocol, but I'm trying to hurry up and sit down, so giving on to everybody. But I just thank the Lord for the time that I've been here at DRT, for the teaching that I've gotten. I thank the Lord for the members that we have now here at DRT. I appreciate you guys. But as Sister, First Lady Eunice was talking, Sister Jones was such a wise lady, very, very wise. And you never know. I didn't have no idea that she talked to you, niece, but she talked to me also. She called me in the office one Sunday morning. She called me out the choir, and she said they sent for me when I went in her office over there. I thought, what's the John want? And she just said, do you know God gave? Do you know that God gave Elton to you as a husband? And I said, yes, ma'am, I know that. She said, that's all I want to know. Everything is going to be fine. And I think we were married maybe a year or two later. But I always thought that Sister Jones and Bishop Jones, y'all probably heard me say this every time I get up when I'm talking about them. I really thought they were going to be here to the end of the world. I really did. I figured that my mom and my dad was going to maybe go on, but I never thought Bishop and Sister Jones would go on. I knew I was going to marry a minister, but I had no idea I was going to marry a pastor. So when they went on, it was a shock. It was really hard for me when Sister Jones went on. It was so hard, but I thank the Lord for the teaching not only my mom gave me, but what Sister Jones gave me. A lot of times when I am trying to make decisions, and I think I asked her, like Eric asked me, I said, Sister Jones, what do I do? And I wait for an answer. A lot of times when I'm praying, I can visually see Sister Jones stretched out praying there. And a lot of times when I can feel her presence or see her there, I know everything is going to be okay. And it's not that I'm putting her above God, because I know that, but I know where my foundation came from. And I thank the Lord for the teaching that she and Bishop Jones gave us. And I thank the Lord for the teaching that I'm getting up under Bishop Elton. Because some of the things that Bishop taught us back then, he is still teaching it now, but he's just putting a little twist to it. And I thank the Lord for how he is encouraging us daily as he delivers the word. Because this generation here, they different from when we were growing up. You know, Bishop and Sister Jones told us to be here. We go on this. We just went. But this generation have their own way of thinking. I do it if I want to. I do it if I don't want to. But I just thank the Lord. DRT members, I love you. And I'm glad for you to have. But I wanted to get up also because I was trying to surprise Bishop with two things. I knew Mother Darden was coming today, and I didn't tell him, so that was one of my surprises that she was coming today. And I had gotten in touch, I believe, with just about all of Bishop Jones' grandchildren, and I had told them to come to be here. So if Bishop Jones' grandchildren and great-grandchildren don't mind by staying, because
some nachos, and he would do it. Oh, those times that he didn't have the cash, he would say, "Go ask your grandma." That's okay. I love this, but grandma wasn't coming off that money like granddad did. Oh no, but y'all, my younger cousin, y'all remember, but we got a check for Christmas every year. No, it was $5. It was a $5 check every year for Christmas. And then the coffee table with the gifts around it. Oh, yes.
Before, I just want you to do one thing for me. Just stand and honor the late Bishop Elton Jones and First Lady. And my siblings remain standing. Yes, your siblings. Your siblings. Oh, God. Amen. Sarah, I don't know how you sitting down. Well, you're my sister, and then rest of the Lord's church. Amen.
Jackie's still sitting down.
Jackie, yeah. Okay, my siblings' wives.
There you go.
My siblings' wives. But you know what, let me tell you something. You will see, Spencer should have stood up when I said blood. Spencer should have stood up when I said blood. You treated tonight, especially when Pastor Schauffer began to speak. It's good to see you. And even back then, when he met my mom, he mentioned, he said, so like he just saw a halo that you just stood. Pastor Schauffer, that's just the way she went home. The week before God put my mother to rest, I walked in the living room. Of course, I knew Miss Jeanette had already dressed. She would always have to do this, and my voice is coming back. I walked in that door, front door. She was sitting in there. I looked at my mother. I started to walk out. I looked at Mama. She shined as bright as the stars. It's like, have y'all seen the photographs when they have the sunlight of Jesus behind the sun? That's just the way she looked. I walked out. I said, she's sister to God. True enough, a week later, God. She lived the life that she preached about. Margaret, there would be times I walked in the sanctuary, she was praying. I was scared to sit there because I didn't want God to reveal nothing to her. Yes, I was just, she was just that patient. I did not want God to reveal nothing to her. I wasn't saved all my life. Although it wasn't very long.
Cold chicken.
So, some of those, I said about some of those years, I called myself out, but I really wasn't. Because I was still in church. But just, that's why I say just because you're in church don't mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything. And there's times, I remember the time I was talking to another pastor and I'm mad at my dad. He told me some of the things about being a pastor, but he didn't tell me everything. No, he didn't, sure. He didn't tell me everything. And every so often I come back to my office and say, why didn't you tell me that I was going to encounter this? And I can hear God say, because you wouldn't believe. Why wouldn't I believe? Why wouldn't I believe it? Because it's back in my mind, I'm saying, these are saved folks. Right. I said that many a time, these are saved folks. Saved folks act right. Boy, did I get a rude awakening. But make no mistake, I love this, I love what I do. Yes. I love what I do. Yes. And I don't like to give special thanks to anyone, but I am going to do this. I thank God for my wife. And beside me, working here at Delivery Survival Town. I do appreciate it. And that she have encountered here. And she told me one thing, and the treatment she got from one member right after we became pastors. I think as she wanted me to approach it, she said, no, son, let me deal with it. Let me. It ain't easy. Yeah, is it easy, Sean? Well, you already said it. Ain't gonna go back. Is it easy, Rodney? Joe, is it easy? Aaron, is it easy? Oscar, is it easy? But I love you. You know what I asked God one time, and we're going to go home. You know what I asked God one time? I say, God, can I be saved and go be a member somewhere else?
Amen.
Or can I, wait, not be saved? Wait a minute, not be saved. Not be saved. Wait a minute, not be saved. But can I go to heaven? Can I go to heaven if I went to be a member somewhere else? He told me, no, because I wouldn't be doing what he called me to do. But you may hear me talk like that and mention the downs, but make no mistake, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade what I'm doing for nothing in the world. I wouldn't trade not one member I have here at the Women's Revival Tabernacle. I love each and every one of them. They have made me who I am today. Yes, it is. And thank God for all of you, but I thank God for my sons.
Amen.
Elton Jones is son, Ivan Antoine Jones. And my daughter, Kendall